What's going on, YouTube? This is another episode of Talk with Jay. Today, I'm going to talk about something that's very controversial in today's society. In my first episode, I talked about the government. Well, I'm gonna talk about religion and my perspective on it. I grew up in a Christian household. Our denomination was Southern Baptist, then we went to Baptist, and then we went to Presbyterian, and now I believe my parents are non-denominational. First off, what is religion to me? Religion is it's a place or a title where you can go worship a god. And for example, if you were to pull up maps and type in like any church, it is categorized religious building. Now, I understand this is going to offend some people, but I've had this conversation with my parents several times where I've asked them, I basically played devil's advocate with my parents where I would ask them questions about their faith, kind of being like the neutral outsider into Christian, be like, oh, okay, so if you follow this, then what does this mean? And this is my perspective. Christianity, Catholics, Baptists, Southern Baptists, we all follow the same God. We just go about it different ways. Now, I'm not saying anyone is right. I'm not saying anyone is wrong. That is not for me to decide. This is just my perspective. Also, I feel like the government is slowly weaponizing religion if they haven't already. For example, supposedly, God created man, God created the Bible. Okay, let's run with that theory for a second. Who am I to get behind a pulpit and say that church down the street is wrong? How am I to know if they're right or wrong? How am I to know if what I'm teaching is actually true or not? And we all read and understand stuff differently. I understand the Bible differently from my friends. We're not going to understand the Bible the same way. That's why I believe there's different types of churches. It's for the different types of people who understand things differently. You've got your mega churches, you've got your small churches, you've got your medium-sized churches, you've got churches that only sing hymns, you've got your churches that are a little more lively with their worship music. Also, I have done some research on this because I've had this conversation with my mom when I used to serve at my church. She was offended that the church I went to had, if you've ever served at a church, then you know what this is. It's a software called ProPresenter where we throw the lyrics up on the screen for the congregation. she was offended that the church had like a text set up and such. She's like, all they need is a hymnal and that's it. I was like, where does it say in the Bible that we can't have stuff like that? So, I've served at churches, I've gone to churches of all shapes and sizes, and I personally don't feel like there's a problem with churches having a nice setup. It's now when it gets to the point where the worship service feels like a concert that it's a problem. Sure, you can have a nice soundboard, you can have a nice light setup, you can have a nice streaming service for the people that can't make it to church, because I promise you there's going to be a few in your congregation. It's the point where you've got people bouncing around the stage, you've got lasers, you've got fog machines, that it becomes a problem. And when you cherry pick scripture or take scripture out of context, that's also a problem. Also, and I would love to hear y'all's comments on this in the comment section. So, supposedly the Bible was written with God's divine wisdom. Okay, we are in the 21st century, and these Bibles are getting printed like out of a printing factory. How are we to not know that someone altered the wording? Like, we don't know, because we trust what is handed to us. Also, I don't like study Bibles because they're from a man's perspective. They're from someone's personal perspective. So this is just my view and my understanding of religion as a whole. I'll make another video at some point, just kind of expanding a little more. But for me, religion as a whole, at least the Christianity aspect of it, we shouldn't hate each other because we're not the same denomination. You can be Catholic, you can be Presbyterian, you can be non-denominational. At the end of the day, we all worship the same God. It's just how we go about it that's different, and that's okay. I've had Catholic friends, I've had Presbyterian friends. Did I hate them? No. I mean, I've gone to different denomination churches, and it was a little interesting just because it was something I wasn't used to. But, and I've even had friends that don't walk, that don't align themselves with faith or any religion. So, yep, that is my take on the Christianity aspect of religion. This is Talk with Jay. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.